Ninjutso Sora version 2 is something that I was not too excited about, but this mouse has been a major positive surprise for me. Most of the features on the Sora are amazing, but there are a couple of downsides as well, so let's go check the mouse out. The clicks on the Sora version 2 are fantastic to my liking, as these are very light, very easy to spam without any real quality issues. I mean, there is some post travel that does not really bother me whatsoever, and pretty much no side play at all. The side buttons and the scroll wheel are also awesome, as the tactility on the scroll wheel especially is very nice for me. Again, no real quality issues, and overall the buttons feel actually very premium. Something else that feels quite premium is the build on this mouse, as there are no real quality issues again, and especially considering the weight, this is very impressive. And to continue a little bit about the weight, 40 grams is actually something that I've considered to be very close to being too light. But the weight is not really something that I've had to consider with the Sora version 2. And that is mainly due to the shape, which has some slight changes from the Sora version 1, but these changes make all the difference for me. With the Sora version 1 I actually got some wrist pains when I was using it for longer sessions, but I've got none whatsoever with the Sora version 2. They've made the mouse overall shorter, and they've actually changed the hump as well, and added some comfort grooves on the buttons, but the biggest difference for me is for sure the hump. At least I think so, but most likely it's the combination of all of these things that makes the mouse much more comfortable for me, but I would still say that it's more natural for aggressive claw than relaxed claw. When we compare the Sora version 2 to other mice, there are of course similarities. For example, the LethalGamingGear LA1 and the OP1 can sort of feel like the Sora version 2, and so can the Hardy S Plus. There is a difference in feel, but it's hard for me to decide which I enjoy the most. But overall I've had a very good experience with the Sora version 2 shape, which is a surprise to me, as I did not enjoy the version 1 at all. And of course, how different it feels for you depends entirely on your hand size and the way you grip the mouse, so these might feel completely different for somebody and very similar to someone else. Let's talk about the performance of the Sora, and for components it's using the very popular Nordic MCU and 3395 from Pixar setup. And the performance of the Sora version 2 with the 1K dongle is for sure respectable. With the high speed mode, the latency is about 0.5 milliseconds higher than the CA13C, and with the competitive mode it's going to be slightly better, so around 0.3 milliseconds or something. Click latency is also fine, but I think it could be quite a lot better because there is some weirdness going on. The standard deviation is quite high, even for 1000 Hz. And the smallest values that I'm getting in those 150 click sets are very low and impressive. I also found some inconsistencies even with motion. For example, here is a graph from Razer, and here is the Sora version 2, and it has quite a bit of outliers all over the place, which is an issue, but it's not going to be something that you will notice in game. So yeah, there is some sloppiness with the firmware solution, at least with the 1K dongle, but yeah, not really something that you need to worry about again. The coding is something that has been very much improved on the Sora version 2, as it feels quite a bit smoother and way more creepy for me than the version 1. Not nearly as good as the coding on endgame gear mice though, but still it's creepy enough for me. One thing that I'm not quite a big fan of is how they have advertised the mouse. It only comes with the 1K dongle, which is not very clear unless you read the print right here. The mouse is still good value at $100, but I'm interested to see how much the 4K dongle is going to cost. And one thing I'd like to say about high polling rates is that I at least have had quite a bit of issues with CS2 in the past month or two, and I can't even really run the game at 4000 Hz. Even with 2000 Hz I still have these micro stutters and the game does not perform very well, but my system has been a bit of a mess recently, so I'm just using 1000 Hz and I've been very happy with it. And the Sora version 2 1000 Hz performance is good, although they can still for sure improve it. By the way, here are my settings for the Ninjutso Sora version 2, as I often get quite many questions about how I configure my mice. Most of the time I'm not using motion sync, as it does add some latency, and I'm not really feeling a difference with or without it. The battery life does get a hit if you use the competitive mode. For me it lasted about 4 days. But the thing is that this is for sure my favorite Ninjutsu mouse, and it's also one of my favorite small mice out at the moment. Let's see how their 4K and 8K solutions are. I won't make another video for it most likely, but I will post some results on Twitter and YouTube posts, so follow those and you will get them. Thank you guys again for watching, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one.